Take it or leave it. That's the ultimatum from the woman who stands between the nomination of Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. Professor Christine Ford insists that the FBI investigate her sexual assault allegations before she's willing to testify in a Senate hearing. And if there's no investigation, she says she will be a no-show. She says since coming forward, she's received death threats, forcing her and her family into hiding. And we just found video from 2015 of Judge Kavanaugh talking about his high school days at Georgetown Prep. Here's what he said.
Which is what happens at Georgetown Prep stays at Georgetown Prep. That's been a good thing for all of us, I think.
Well, Tori, many people on social are reading into it, and some people on social media are saying they shouldn't read into it, but the ones that are saying that this just underscores the rape culture that does exist across high school campuses, college campuses, and what would you say to that?
I would say that I grew up in that environment. I grew up in D.C. amongst the Georgetown Prep, the Landons, the St. Albans, and a lot of these kids' parents were politicians, presidents, diplomats. They had diplomatic immunity at some points. A lot of kids in Washington who went to very wealthy academic schools felt they could get away with just about anything. I don't know if he's referring to that. It rings true because I know girls at Holton Arms, where Dr. Ford went, that have experienced this times 10 in that age. The other thing I'd like to say is I think we should learn from Anita Hill. Anita Hill had 2 days to get ready for her hearing, wasn't allowed an attorney, wasn't allowed an independent investigation, and you could see Orrin Hatch back in the Anita Hill day saying, I think you're all mixed up. Well,
even Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, who has apologized.
Yep.
Yesterday, Orrin Hatch was asked, what do you think about Dr. Ford? And from all the way in 92, he said, oh, I think she's just a little bit mixed up. That's now. That's yesterday.
Bo, do you think people are reading too much into it?
I do, because he said in the statement right before that, he said that he remembered his high school's motto, be men for others. And I think we have to take that in context. But I do want to read a tweet by Chuck Grassley. And this is important because to anyone who thinks that Republicans are trying to shut this woman down, they're trying to give her an opportunity. This is just recently. We're going to continue to try to hear from Dr. Ford in any format she's comfortable with. Open session, closed session, private staff interviews, public staff interviews, because her information is very important. We provided an opportunity for her to put her story forward on Monday. So they're giving, her the opportunity, which is important. Both sides have to treat this not frivolously at all. It is important to get this right. But if she doesn't come forward and give her testimony, her sworn testimony, I think we've got some credibility problems.
But why rush it? Why rush something like this? Why not have an independent FBI investigation to make sure that we're not going to elect somebody that, and I'm not saying this is true, it's just an accusation at this point, but why not make sure?
Yeah, especially when we're talking about the Supreme Court justice. I look at this role or this leadership role as more prestige as the president of the United States. The standard should be higher. Yeah, exactly. So we should do our due diligence and really take some time and figure out who it is that we are electing to be one of our higher judges in the United States.
But don't the three of you ask yourselves why now? When you've had all this time, when Feinstein's been holding on to this since July, don't you ask yourself, there was a window of opportunity to bring this forward, and you're just going to do it at the 11th hour? Well, I think everybody has to reasonably question it.
And I think that's fair. The Washington Post has said, and she said, I always knew he might become a Supreme Court, and she's told her therapist, the therapist notes verify, that she said, if he becomes a Supreme Court justice, I will come forward. So she felt she would have retaliation in Washington. Now, I just want to say, we got some breaking news. The Senate Judiciary Committee says if she refuses to come in, her very last time will be this Friday at 10 a.m. Unrepresented, she will have to come in and testify alone. Very similar to the Anita Hill.
But see, to me, guys, and I'm sorry, I don't want to extend it because I know we got to go, but if she wants to bring this story forward, then she's got to go on record to do it. I just don't know why it's taken so long to do this. Because if it was good enough when he was a federal judge making really serious decisions,
maybe she fears that she won't have the proper protection, if that's the right word. I think she wants it to be a thorough outside investigation rather than it be internal.
She wants it different than Anita Hill, is what she wants.
Okay.